Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And today, there was quite a lot going on for crypto. However, I want to quickly come out and say I am still holding. I haven't thought about selling. I'm not going to sell. No worries about it. And my question of today is, are you also still holding your crypto, or have you given up? Let me know in the comment section down below. And okay, if you want to help out the channel so bad, all you have to do to help is make sure you press that like button. It just helps out a little bit for the YouTube algorithm. Now, first of all, let's quickly take a little bit of a look at this video from Jeremy Hogan. It's a 10-minute video, mostly an update on the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. I'm not going to actually call it a real big update. It's mostly some clarity for a lot of the non-lawyer or non-legal guys under us like me. So I watched it. I actually watched it a couple of hours ago already. Didn't write any notes down, and I can still give you guys the rundown, which is basically this fair notice defense is going to be extremely important. So the fair notice defense is defense number 4 from Ripple's side out of 7, if I'm not mistaken. And what it basically is about is that the SEC should have given the company some fair notice. And what he goes on to kind of rant about is how important this decision will be, both from Ripple's side and from the SEC's side. Because if Ripple gets this cleared, almost any other company ever getting sued by the SEC will have some problem. If the SEC gets this one cleared, it's going to be a really big uphill battle for almost any other crypto company out there. And specifically, he says that the higher the court, the more of an obligation the lower courts have to, abide by those rules and by that decision. And he says again that right now, if the judge basically does not side with Ripple, they can come again. And if a higher court admits that Ripple's correct, that they should have given fair notice, then any other crypto company will always be able to use this defense. And that basically means that the SEC cannot really sue any crypto company after this one anymore. I mean, of course, if the logical situation shows that, they most likely still can do some stuff, but a lot of them can come and build on this fair notice defense. And what that basically means is, his own words, that the SEC will run out of money because, well, they thrive and they survive from these lawsuits and the money that they make from those. So he says they're going to be done and kind of over with if it pulls through. And that's going to be really interesting because we have read the fair notice defense a couple of times now. We've basically read what the SEC is saying, and Jeremy says the motion to strike, which basically is the SEC saying, hey, we don't want that defense out there. We don't think it's relevant at all. He thinks that that one is going to be denied, which I think logic would suffice to say is most likely going to happen. Why? Well, because if the defense is in any way, shape, or form, threatening, and that's again what the SEC is trying to say it's not. The SEC is trying to say this defense makes no good argument. It has nothing to do with all of this. It doesn't matter. Get it out of the lawsuit. It doesn't really happen that often that it just gets thrown out because the judge has to see then that even if all of Ripple's arguments there, all of them are true, even if they are all true, it still has no relevance to the lawsuit. If that's the case, then it gets thrown out. If not, hey, it doesn't. And he thinks the motion will be denied, which I think too. Then again, I'm not a lawyer, so don't take this as financial or legal advice. Now, Cardano buy setup forming. I've been talking about ADA, Polygon, a lot of cryptos last couple of days, but specifically ADA right now is, as I said before, in a really good position. Then again, I also tell you guys very often that you should not trust in TA, mostly on the basis that you don't really know the situation. I mean, if Bitcoin gets a little bit of a poopy on top of its head, all cryptos will fall, and whatever you drew for any specific altcoin doesn't necessarily have to line up. Now, once more, this one actually was pretty damn nice because he's calling it a buy setup. I mean, he did call out the situation for it, and he did show out the channel. As you can clearly see, there's a channel formed for ADA. He did show, again, if we bounce from this support, this is our next area of interest. If we don't bounce from this support, our next support is here, and the basic support is going to be the trend line. And we actually fell now all the way back to these trend line, as you can clearly see, mostly because of Bitcoin. And he's saying the bigger support is all the way down here at $1 for ADA. To be honest, $1 per ADA is still ridiculously high for me. I bought the majority of my coins at 2 cents, as I've most likely mentioned a couple of times right now already. So I'm sometimes still baffled when I see, a dollar per ADA? Oh, wow, right? It's just ridiculously high for me. Then a little bit of an interesting story here, a really interesting story. UK police bust major Bitcoin mining operation they thought was a farm. Let's call it like that. So I was pretty amazed by this because I saw on Twitter a couple of days ago that little picture of where usually if it was a home, let's say it was a snowy home, right? Because I know the picture, but I don't have it in front of me right now, so I'm going to have to describe it. All right, I'm going to try my best. There's basically, it's the picture where you see, homes that are house to house. They're like next to each other. I don't know what you call it in English. And it's snowy on top of those rooftops, except for one house where you see a big circle. And they used to call it like a farm, basically, a this type of farm of the, that type of farm. And right now it's a Bitcoin operation or a mining operation because, well, that takes a lot of electricity, takes a lot of heat. Of course, there's also these helicopters which check for the heat, basically, in terms of homes. And, of course, they check your electricity bill. If you're going to go for some heavy crypto mining, it might be that one day or another they're going to storm in, thinking you're going to do something, you're busy with something crazy. Which is pretty funny in my opinion, how the world has changed from those types of operations to, just getting myself some Bitcoins, don't mind me. Then, I lost millions through cryptocurrency addiction. I actually didn't want to talk about this article because I think it's, I don't want to call it propaganda, but I want to call it like a little bit of there's a bigger motive behind it. It's on the BBC. I don't know. I don't know why they would put an article like this instead of some other news. So I'm taking this with a grain of salt, but I lost millions through crypto addiction. It's basically this guy has lost some crypto by trading. He then went on to trade more, and he, at one point or another, made a really good trade, made his money back, and then started to gamble with other people's money, and then again got to pay a little bit of that back. But right now, he's facing some criminal charges for embezzlement, and he's not feeling so good. Then they started to talk about this specific man who is really good, and has a good clinic, and whatever, he's able to get people off of his addiction. I didn't know it was an ad all of a sudden. And at the bottom, it's about a woman who's in IT who fell for a crypto scam. So it's a little bit of everything inside one article. All negative stuff though. I'm not exactly sure this guy, why he matters at all. And the rest is just negative. Is that the BBC's narrative that they want to put on crypto? I'm not sure, but I just think it was pretty funny that you get addicted to cryptocurrency like that. No, this person was addicted to trading. It's not I lost millions through cryptocurrency. No, I had a trading addiction. I had a gambling addiction. That's what you want to call it there. If you're not trading methodically, you have a gambling addiction, my friend. So I'm not exactly sure why they put crypto in the name. Could have been anything. So yeah, not exactly sure about that. My own opinion is maybe to push a narrative, but that's me. Then crypto weekend, buy entry levels, Cardano, Polygon, Litecoin, and Omizgo or Mizgo. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce that. OMG. You know what's funny, guys? I actually used to own some OMG years ago, I believe, right? I mean, this one has been there for years, if I'm not mistaken, because I do remember OMG, but I haven't heard about it for a very long time. Same thing for OMI. And all of a sudden, a lot of people are like, oh, cover OMG, cover OMI. Like, there's a couple other ones as well, but they're like really excited about it. And I'm like, why? What happened all of a sudden? Now, on that same note, I guess on the, no, it's not on the same note. Oh, well, here was actually, no, I don't know what I wanted to say right there. Here's some different cryptos with some different buy levels or entries. All I can say about them is, guys, right now, cryptos are going down. The ship is sinking a little bit. But I'm buying my way down. But there's no real good or wrong in terms of buying and where exactly I'm going to buy. It's really hard to say where a good point would be. I just have layers, as you guys most likely know. I just like to buy my way down and basically give myself the lowest price possible. But where exactly will I be buying? Where exactly will we do this, that? Nothing, right? I cannot even tell you guys what I'm going to do in terms of leverage trading. I guess I'll open another position once we get to 65 cents. I'll add to this position because last time we missed out on it a little bit, and that's why we are in a little bit less profit than we could have been. But for the rest, guys, I have no idea. I'm not buying anything right now. I'm just waiting because I bought it like 5 days ago or so, right? My pockets are empty. I need a bigger dip to actually buy deep. And I guess we still have like 3 more cents or so to go before we hit break even. And this is another kind of a example here. Bybit, use the link down below to trade. There's $2,600 worth of bonuses, and there's so much more. Go check it out. Bybit, link is down below. I use this for trading all the time. If you're from the US, make sure you use a VPN. This is also a little ticket to you guys, though, of if you're in profit, sometimes cash out. Or in a different sense, if you're going to trade, make sure you have a strategy. Don't just open a position thinking, hey, you know what, let me mess around a little bit. No, make sure you have a plan. Make sure you have a plan. Make sure you have a plan. Otherwise, you're going to hate yourself if it all of a sudden turns into a loss. This one was up $800 or so, $750 at max. Right now, we are at only $170. That might really mess you up mentally. To me, it's not my main account, right? This is just bonuses that we're trading with because, well, that's what you sometimes get if you deposit money, for example. So it doesn't really matter. I'm not hurt because I know what I wanted. I just wanted to have this one open for the big run. If we lose, we lose. That's the way I go about it. That's why there's no stop loss. But for a lot of people, they want to trade to make a lot more money and they have some sort of plan, a strategy. Make sure you stick to it. Make sure you put your targets down and trade like a professional, not like a goofer. Here is what JP Morgan's chief thinks about Bitcoin. By the way, my neighbors must hate me because I'm screaming all day into this microphone. I love it. I love it. I love it. So Goldman Sachs stated that there has been an increase of interest in crypto from its clients. We saw that. Jamie Dimon has advised people to stop investing in Bitcoin since the crypto is not supported by anything. That's pretty funny for him to say that. I mean, the banking system is kind of a joke too, but he believes crypto are far more inferior to traditional assets and wants improved regulation. I do get that though as well, for coming from a banker. That's quite logical. And then Grayscale loses a whopping $2.1 billion in Bitcoin and other crypto in 24 hours. Yeah, I mean, this is also kind of stating the obvious. Their AUM has gone down, the assets under management, because crypto prices have gone down. Ooh, okay. Yeah, crypto market loses money because it lost money. What? Okay. Yeah, not really relevant at all, in my opinion. But yeah, guys, that was it for today's video. An update. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something new. Once more, guys, this is going to be the most important part of the Ripple lawsuit. Cardano, ADA, blah, 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 all of those coins, I'm just buying them. All these coins I think are pretty juicy, to be honest with you. OMG, not that big a fan before, but a lot of you guys have been mentioning, so I might look into it. I already told you guys I'm looking into a couple of altcoins that you guys mentioned. Litecoin, of course, I'm a really big hater of, but then again, it's a coin that I do hold. I've held it for years because, well, sometimes people just like to buy strange stuff, so I do hold a little bit of it. Polygon and ADA, as you've most likely seen from my last couple of videos, big fan on that. A little side note, VeChain also a really big fan, really big fan, specifically because of all the news coming from China last week.